Hey guys, welcome back to Unfiltered and Functional. I'm your host, Man, and I'm here with my bestie, Sashi Baby.
Hello.
And we're coming to you guys with a very special episode, Peptides 101. This will be one part of a little bit of a series, and later in the series, we'll go a little bit more in depth about particular peptides that may be applicable for some populations, whether they're weight loss peptides, growth peptides. There's a bunch. So we'll talk about that in other episodes. But today it's going to be Peptides 101, what they are, what they aren't, kind of break down some of those scenarios. Also, as you guys know, this is not medical advice. This is for education purposes. So if you do ever have questions about this, consult your healthcare provider.
Mandy.
Thank you. All right. So, guys, peptides are everywhere right now, from like fat loss to gut healing to hormones to one of my favorites, anti-aging. But most people don't really know exactly what they are. Like, I think some people have the idea that they're medications or just totally separate, almost like extreme street drugs of a sort, or that they're a shortcut or a biohack type deal. And that is truly just not the case. So I really want to clear up what they are for people. Bare bones, what peptides are they are short chain amino acids. What are amino acids? They're the building blocks of protein. I know we've all heard about these. If you're somebody that has been drinking protein powder or BCAAs, we all know that amino acids are with protein. The one driver that I want to drive home to you guys is that your body is already making thousands of peptides every single day. Peptides are things we make in our own bodies. Amino acids. Sometimes we get amino acids from food sources, but these peptides are made in-house, if you will. So
In-house. Homemade.
homemade, girl, homegrown. And some relatable examples that people have heard of before: insulin is a peptide, semaglutide, tirzepatide. These are also medications, but we make these hormones in our body. Not every hormone is a peptide. I know that gets a little confusing, but a couple other examples: sermorelin is a really, really popular peptide with people. Tesamorelin too for fat loss, specifically because that targets the fat around our organs as well. IGF-1, LR3, I'm a huge fan of that one, but I'm going to try and keep my bias out of this. Endorphins are peptides. Oxytocin is a peptide. They aren't foreign to our bodies. They're literally already messengers that our body already makes. Our body speaks this language very, very fluently. Sash, with that, did you ever have, before you kind of walked into this world of coaching and bodybuilding, did you ever assume that peptides were basically like drugs or steroids? And do you feel like peptides as a whole might be a little intimidating for people?
Yes and yes. Yes to both. So, I mean, for me, it was like, oh my God, injecting yourself with something, which not all I mean, I know that there are some peptides that you can take that are like in tablet form, but I'm even with that, like injectables are like more bioavailable. So, like anything that I would hear about that, I was like, it was hard for me to understand the difference between them before I did the research in order to understand the difference between them. But I definitely categorize peptides and steroids in the same group when they are very different.
Do you think the general population is a little intimidated by the thought of peptides because they have that stereotype almost that they're going like hand in hand with
Yeah.
steroids?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I think that that could definitely be a fear, and it's not an irrational fear. It is very much so rational, and seeing everything that you're seeing online and on social media and like your favorite influencers posting about what peptides they take or what they do or what they take. It's like there's that, is this for me? Is this something that I need to take? And for the normal people, the first step is always getting into the gym and starting to live the life. And then if you want to support your body to the next level, like for me now, I categorize peptides as like my vitamins. It's just something that could be taken, that is helpful, that is beneficial if it's meant for you. Like I'm not going to take a vitamin that my body doesn't need or that my blood levels say that I'm good with. Like I'm not going to add that vitamin if I'm okay and like if I'm good, if I'm in a good place. So the same approach goes now, like that's how I approach peptides now, is if my body could benefit from it, if it needs it, if it's something that could really be beneficial and optimize my health, I'm in it.
You made so many good points that we're going to jump to right off the bat is just because it is something that can enhance your health or your goal. It's not one size fits all. They're not all meant for certain people. I know I just said one of my particular faves is IGF-1 LR3, but that's not one that is going to be for somebody who has a heavy family history of cancer, for example, because that can cause increased proliferation of cancer cells if you are prone to that, if your lifestyle factors aren't in order. So, as with any other medication or supplement you would think about taking, yes, there does need to be some research and some more consideration given to taking peptides as well. Just because we already make them in our body doesn't mean we need all the extra ones as well. Okay, so what do they do in a nutshell? They are highly specific. They support regulation. Now, this is important because this is where it kind of differs from medication. Medication can kind of override what our body processes already are. These aren't going to do that. There are fewer side effects because we already make these in our body. And when they do break down in the body, they're breaking down to amino acids naturally. They're not breaking down into synthetic byproducts or extra toxins or anything like that. They are degrading into amino acids or smaller protein molecules. They basically just work with our body, not against it. They're working with it. What they don't do. Now, this is very important. They do not replace hormones long term. I know I said that some peptides are hormones, but they're not going to replace your hormones. That's not what they do. They do not force pathways. Again, they're going to work with your body. If things aren't already in line, these are not going to fix it. They do not bypass feedback loops the way that drugs do. So they're not shortcuts. They are not overrides. They are not do it for you tools. Sasha and I talked about it on a podcast a little while back about the weight loss injection medications.
That was a really good video. So if you haven't listened to that, I highly recommend you go and listen to that.
Yes, yes, definitely go listen to it. Thank you. Good point, Sasha. But we talked about the weight loss medications, and they are peptides. But if your foundations for health are not in place, those weight loss medications won't work. They're not going to be as effective. Same thing here with the other peptides. If you don't have healthy foundations with your diet, with your movement regimen, with your sleep, with your stress management, all of those things, these peptides are not going to be a quick fix for you, period. So if you are expecting peptides to fix everything and not changing your lifestyle, that's just simply not how biology works. And we're going to have to do a little bit of a mindset shift there. So, Sash, why do you think there is a misconception for people about using these as like a quick fix versus like actually digging in and doing the work they need to do?
Doctors, TV ads, social media, and not and like reading the label essentially and just reading on the label of anything that you take, it like says how to take it, the serving size, the dosage, whatever. It doesn't then tell you what to do afterwards. It doesn't tell you what to do beforehand. It doesn't tell you how to live life in a way where you don't rely on certain peptides, like for example, the weight loss ones. And again, like I said, if you haven't listened to that video, I highly recommend if you are someone who either takes those kinds of peptides, there's absolutely no judgment. There's no judgment if you do, if you don't, if you're considering it, if this is something that was prescribed to you, whatever the case may be. But the misconception is like you walk into a doctor's office and you need to lose weight and you're having a really hard time losing weight, and then the doctor prescribes you a peptide. They majority of the time don't also prescribe going to a nutritionist, changing your diet, changing your habits. And the thing is when push comes to shove, sure, you can keep doing all the shit that you're doing and see some changes in the peptide, like with the peptides and them like helping you lose some weight without you really making a lot of lifestyle changes. But you know what happens as soon as you pull those peptides out? Right back to where you were, if not worse. So if the lifestyle and like the foundation isn't there, like if that isn't there, the peptides are only going to help so much. And again, in that video that Mans and I did in that other podcast about the weight loss meds, like you can be taking weight loss meds and like those peptides, but if your body is chronically inflamed, it can't even get through to do the job that it needs to do. So the misconception, I believe, is just because of the way that they're advertised, what people see, what people hear. I mean, you look at a TV ad and it's like, oh, having trouble losing 25 pounds here, trizepatide or this or that, and people are like, oh my God, I want to do that. And then it's not followed by you need to go to the gym, you need to do cardio, you need to drink water, you need a daily step goal, you need accountability, you need support, you need nutrition. Like it's not followed by those things. And that makes it into a quick fix rather than something that is going to actually change your life forever.
Thank you. You make so many wonderful points. And guys, yeah, if you have not listened to the weight loss episode, do it. Peer pressure.
Do
Do
it,
it.
do it, do it.
Do it and rate it 5 stars, please. Appreciate you guys. You're the best. But guys, I am a huge advocate for informed consent. So just like if you were prescribed a medication, do your research, understand the side effects, understand what could happen. Like we talked about with the weight loss medications, which are also peptides in this case, understand how it is going to affect your digestion, understand what kind of nutritional support you're going to need, and making sure that that health is maintained so that you are not experiencing muscle wasting. So you're not going to be more prone down the line, specifically if you're a female, to osteoporosis or bone diseases. I do want to specifically touch on why some people won't respond to peptides, which Sasha kind of like already tickled that little nugget a little bit. Peptides are signals. These signals are only going to work if your body is able to respond. So, like she gave the example that we talked about before, if you're inflamed, that signal's not going to fully get through. You might have some benefit of it, but you're not going to get the most optimal reaction if we have unaddressed inflammation. Why are we going to spend the money on it if it doesn't make sense to? Let's address the inflammation first, then we can add the peptide. So if there is something unaddressed in your life, in your health right now, probably you're not going to be the best candidate at this point in time. Do the root causes first, address that, and then you can have some really great results with peptides. Now, a couple of reasons that peptides can quote unquote underperform if protein intake is too low. They're amino acid. Guys, we need amino acid, we need protein. So if your protein intake is too low through dietary, gotta address that. If absorption is impaired, so if we have low stomach acid or gut issues, which usually is stemming from unaddressed stress, gotta address that. If we have any mineral or vitamin deficiencies, gotta address that. Zinc, magnesium, iron, copper, these things are needed to make body cells, to make hormones, to make peptides. You have to address that. Have to address that. Cannot stress that enough. Inflammation.
You must.
You must. And if your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight, if inflammation is too high, these are when peptides are not going to be appropriate until those things are addressed. So if your foundation of health is a little shaky, again, these are not a quick fix. Don't waste your money. Use your money smartly and use these peptides when all of those are addressed first because they matter so much more than you think that they do. Now, peptides versus medications. Peptides, naturally occurring, support signaling. They work with your body. They have very short half-lives, which means they're going to be processed out of your body faster than something that has a longer half-life. And they generally have lower side effects. Medications, usually synthetic. So they're not created by the body. They block or stimulate receptors. They can override our natural physiology, and they are usually longer lasting and a little bit more aggressive than peptides are. I want to just drive home that this is not anti-medication. This is not anti-peptides. This is very pro-informed consent and making sure you understand this is a tool. If you're going to use it, does it make sense to use it? And if you do use it smart. That's all. Because we're huge fans of peptides, of other things that can help support health if it makes sense to. But that's just it, if it makes
Absolutely.
sense to. Sasha, what do you hope anybody that's listening will feel after this episode, or what is one like big major takeaway you want to give people about peptides?
Oof, I love this question. Peptides are additional support. Peptides are not the fix. The fix is your lifestyle. The fix is changes to your lifestyle. Peptides are an incredible addition and can be super beneficial if you are doing the things already in your lifestyle and not to like overwhelm someone who isn't doing the things in their lifestyle and maybe is on a peptide. Like you could start while you're on the peptide, you could start wherever you're at, just Don't expect magic. It is not a magic pill. It is not a magic shot. That doesn't exist. The only magic that you can do is by taking your health seriously, by taking your lifestyle seriously and making changes. And I have, had experiences with clients where they were in the lifestyle, they added peptides, everything was controlled through blood work, through doctors, through everything, and they saw incredible results from it. And then I've also seen people on the internet who just added in peptides or were using peptides in a very wrong way and not for what that peptide is meant for. And then we're disappointed with how it played a role. Like Mandy said, it works with the body. So if your body is not in a place where it needs it yet, because there are other things that we need to do first, just know that it is a great addition, but it is not a magic pill. And I think I said the same thing in the weight loss medicine one, that there is no magic pill. The magic pill is living a healthy lifestyle. Everything else is a great addition. And they are also not drugs and they are also not steroids. So don't be freaked out, okay? Don't be freaked out. Like
Yeah.
they could be used very smartly. I mean, I used peptides right after my breast augmentation surgery to help with recovery, and I used it for, I think it was either 4 weeks or 6 weeks as I was recovering post-surgery, and I am nearly certainly positive that it played a huge role in how easy and smooth and quick my recovery was.
Mhm.
But this was also paired with I continued tracking my macros, I was drinking my water, I was continuing to live the lifestyle.
No, so many great points there. And I don't know why I said it that way.
Add Russ,
Add dressing, salad, add dressing.
the dressing to the peptide is like dressing on a salad. Like
Uh,
it's a nice addition. It makes the salad taste better, but like the salad is the foundation. As long as there's chicken in it. I don't know.
that
What are
that was a
our
really
brain?
good that was a good
Anyways.
analogy that we totally intended for that to be in here. So listen, dressing on the salad, but addressing the hesitancy, the scarcity, the fear around grouping them in with steroids, they can be performance enhancing. And I think steroids immediately, PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. Peptides can be performance enhancing. That's why they're very popular among bodybuilders, but they do so much more than that. They're also popular for anti-aging, for skincare, GHKCU. That's something that I want to add into eventually topically, like for my skin, where you can inject it. There's so many different benefits for different types of peptides, but it is addressing those foundations, as Sasha said. That's a really good point. Another good point that you made too, before we kind of wrap all of this up, is that if you are going to utilize these, make sure you're in a spot where your body can receive them. Make sure you have blood work done with me.
With Mandy, with Mandy.
No, but for real, make sure you have blood work done. Make sure that if there is anything underlying that needs to be addressed, get that done. Like work smarter, not harder for yourself. And on that note, again, we're going to do a couple more episodes specifically diving into different peptides, going into specifics on certain peptides, whether it's AOD, MOTS-c, Sermorelin. So if you guys have a particular peptide you want us to address first, drop it in the comments. And if you are curious about learning more about peptide therapy, if it's right for you, what to do beforehand, what to know while you're taking it, what to do after, because not all of these are meant to be forever. Our
Yes.
DMs are always open. Last little nugget, there are so many places on the internet to acquire peptides. They are not all created equal. Some of these you can definitely get through a physician to write you a prescription, which is what I recommend, whether it is direct from your physician or if it is a telehealth physician. And then there are other kind of third party sites, if you will, where you're kind of buying them and purchasing them at your own risk. They will not be FDA regulated, so you don't necessarily always know what you're getting in that peptide. Do that at your own risk. Like I said, this is not medical advice, but I do want you guys to make smart choices. If you are curious and do want to get it from a reputable physician and reputable source that actually cares about your health, I'm affiliated with Rise HRT. And if you want to go through them, use my last name, Arias, Arias. That gives you 20% off on any peptide products that you want to use. But I will tell you, they are going to make sure that you're taken care of. They are going to ask you what questions you have. They're going to get a health history and make sure that it's actually going to be an appropriate fit for you, which is why I'm such a huge fan of them. Very big fan of anyone that's going to be really ethical about medical and healthcare. So, on that note, guys, thank you for joining us on this episode. We will see you next Monday.